welcome to another video from Banana Computers. You can find us at www.bananacomputers.com, on our Facebook channel, the Banana Computers, and of course on the eBay Banana Computers also. Hi, it's Neil here from Banana Computers. Today we're going to run a couple of tests on some machines head to head and have a look at the results. Obviously one of the things we want to focus on is the Precision T3610 because it's got a rather fantastic AMD FirePro W7000 card. It's a 4GB card in it. I want to see just what it can do on these benches. So we're going to be running Cinebench R15 today, just in the free download demo mode that you can try yourselves. And we're also going to try the 3D Mark 11 and have a look at that as well. So first up is the Cinebench R15. Today we're using head-to-head. On your left, my right, it's an Optiplex 9020. It's a mini tower version. It's running with the i5-4570 at 3.6 GHz, which is a quad-core processor, of course, Intel. It's a HD4600 graphics, which is the onboard graphics. Can run, of course, multiple monitors off that and has a very good resolution. It's got 4GB of RAM at PC12800, so it's 1600 MHz memory in that. Running on Windows 8.1 Pro. The hard drive is a 500GB SATA 7.2K. The other machine we're going to test, of course, is on my left, which is your right, is the Precision T3610. This is running with the Intel Xeon E5-1620V2. That's a 3.7 GHz quad-core processor in the Xeon range. We've also got inside it the AMD FirePro W7000, the 4GB card from them. A rather fantastic thing it is too, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that fares. That's running with 8GB PC12800 memory, so there's 1600 MHz memory in that one as well. It's running from a 500GB SSD hybrid drive running at 7.2K. And of course on that one we're running with Windows 7 Pro 64. Thank you for joining me on this little tour of the Precision T3610. It's a workstation in the Precision range from Dell. And this is of course quite a large mini tower format. On the front here, of course, we've got the power, microphone and headphones, and below that we have a USB 3 and then 3 separate powered USB 2s, and of course a nice DVD rewriter, protective plastic. And as behind there, of course, are the drives, etc. We'll have a look inside there in a moment. Got the access panel on the side with the handle for access, and then here we are looking at the back. As you can see on the back we've got some of the usual standard loadout that you're used to seeing, the microphone and the line out, and of course the two more USB 2s there. We've got the Ethernet connection, a couple of PS2 connectors for those of you still using those old PS2 devices, and below that we have another charging USB 2 and 3 USB 3s. A little further down, there you see it. This is the AMD FirePro W7000. It's a 4GB card. As you can see, 4 DisplayPort outputs on the back. A little further down there, got the 685 watt power supply connection, and you can see a couple of the internal fans peeking through. Quite simple overall, but as you can see, a wealth of PCI slots, and of course you can add various things, everything from NICs right through to crossfire in your graphics card. On the other side, nothing more simple than some of the rubber feet so that you can have it lay flat or stood upright. Has the option for both. Now we're going to have a look inside. You see the panel lifts off very easily. Inside have the component layout. Okay, let's have a look inside. Underneath these down here we have the memory. Of course we have the processor with a lovely substantial heatsink on top of it, and sat in one of the PCI slots we have the rather fantastic W7000, and there he is, FirePro Graphics W7000. What a brilliant card. Of course, connected to the internal power, and as you can see below, we've still got spare PCI slots, and the most important one, of course, for those of you who like to do crossfire. These machines, of course, can come with dual processor option. In this case it's a single processor, but they do have the option for dual. We've got the SATA bay with just a single hard drive in at the moment. It's a 500 gig hybrid SSD. And here you can see the DVD rewriter, a nice little removable housing. As we take a look down here, you can see multiple SATA connections, so you can add more drives, of course, for those of you who need to do things like RAID or have multiple hard drives for various tasks. Dell internal speaker, which we're quite impressed to say is much better than quite a lot of tablet speakers we've encountered recently, so quite impressive all the same. Now this machine here, this is the, as I said before, the Precision T3610. Inside here we've got an Intel Xeon E5-1620. This is a V2. It's a 3.7 GHz quad-core processor. We've mentioned a 500 GB 7.2K hybrids SSD drive there. Underneath the protective shrouds here we've got 8 GB of memory tied and plugged in there. And the system's running Windows 7 Pro 64. And of course the star of the show in this system, the AMD FirePro W7000. If you're interested in this card, I suggest you have a little look online, Google it and see how it compares to some other cards, because this thing is brilliant. There we are, last but not least, I've got the inclusion switch. And there's a simple tour inside our Precision T3610. As you can see, spare bay, another spare bay, multiple PCI slots spare, and of course under here we have capacity for more memory. Here we go in Cinebench R15. First test. OpenGL. Test number 2. Let's do the CPU test. 3, 2, 1. Now we have the two tests concluded. As you can see, OpenGL 108.18 frames and the CPU 658. And on the desktop we've got OpenGL going in at 30.65 frames, and on the other one we've got OpenGL went in at 30.65 frames and the CPU at 515. And you can see the rankings boards for how they fared. There's the top end Xeon, the ridiculously good i3, i7s there, but there's the Xeon E5-1620 as found in this precision. Of course these are running on the i5-4570, the desktop here. Look at the OpenGL scores on them both. As you can see, the card in this, the W7000, absolutely smashes everything else in the list. I mean, there's the Quadro K4000, which is a brilliant, brilliant card, but look at the score compared. AMD FirePro W7000, 108 frames a second, fantastic. And of course on this side, on the general desktop, we've got the HD4600, which is the onboard graphics, still very, very good, coming in 30.65, very impressive. Now we're going to run the 3D Mark 11 test program. It's in the basic format in the 720p setting, so that again you can download and try it yourself at home and see how your system compares. As you can see, we've got the full 3D Mark 11 experience. We've got it in stretched on them both with the performance set at 720p, so that we can have a fair look at what you can replicate at home also. 3, 2, 1. Here we have the final score for the Precision T3610 on the 3D Mark 11. As you can see, it's got the component list of what's in there, and we get a score P7749 using the W7000 and of course the E51620 V2 processor. Now it's got of course the Mark graphics driver is not approved on the top of the screen, and this at the moment as it stands is straight out of the box. This is as it arrives from Dell. No updates, no tweaks, no other software added, nothing whatsoever. This is just straight out of the box, and that's what we can achieve. Quite brilliant really. Here we see the final result on the i5-4570 from the Optiplex 9020 mini tower. As you can see, P1287 and compared with P7749 in our Precision.